Hi, and welcome to the module which takes our if function to the very next level. And I'm talking about the COUNTIF, SUMIF, and AVERAGEIF function. This is when we need to tabulate large amounts of data very quickly without going through the hassle of creating pivot tables and filters to get the information we want. So if you had to open the workbook SUMIF, COUNTIF, AVERAGEIF and look at the first sheet single criteria, let's have a look at the workbook we are currently seeing. We've got our list of employees with their salaries, their date of hire department, years of service and job rating. What I'd like to do in this table over here is I'd like to be able to count the number of employees that fit my criteria of a full-time status. I would then like to total this value as well as average the value based on the salaries that my full-time employees are earning. And then I would like to copy this function down so that it will apply to my part-time and contract employees. So although you can use nested if functions to get this information, it's much easier to use our additions to the if function, which is count, sum, and average if. So to get the total number of hires, what we are wanting to do is count the number of employees that have got the full-time status on their particular line. So we are going to use the COUNTIF function. You will notice COUNTIF tells you it counts the number of cells within a range that meets a given condition. You will also notice there's a COUNTIFs option, which we'll go through later in the next module. The range that I want to select is my status range. You can select the entire column, and my criteria would be my full-time status over here. This would now tell me exactly how many employees, I'm going to copy the formula down, are full-time, part-time, and contract. We can double check this by doing a quick filter on our status and selecting only our full-time employees. Select all of them to get a count at the bottom of your screen, and it is in fact 7. If for whatever reason you are not seeing this count at the bottom of the screen, you can do so by right-clicking on the bar at the bottom and choosing what you would like to see. Because I do a lot of training, I've got the sum, I've got the average, and I've got all the other additions to my screen bar, but use the ones that are efficient for you to use. Now what we would like to do is calculate the total salary, but only for the full-time employees. So instead of counting, we want to sum. The sum function works exactly the same way, except there's an additional range. So we say SUMIF, the range, let me actually just escape out of this formula, we just need to clear our filter. Let's go back to SUMIF. The range is our status. The criteria is our status, exactly the same as COUNTIF, except now we need to specify, once we've found how many full-time employees there are, which column do you want me to add data? And in this case, we want to add the new salary column as our sum range. This will now give me, I'm going to copy the formula down, the total salary of our full-time, part-time, and contract employees. AVERAGEIF works exactly the same way as SUMIF. You have a range, which is our status, the criteria, which we've selected over here, and the average range is exactly the same as the sum range because we want to calculate the average salary by status of employee. And there you have it. Keeping in mind COUNTIF, SUMIF, and AVERAGEIF is only based on one criteria being met.